Good evening, and welcome to Shuddersome, Tales Poe. My name is Rosalie Mackenzie Poe, and as you may have guessed, these stories were indeed written by my brother, half-brother, Edgar Allan Poe. We are not full kin. I wish to make that perfectly clear. I'm totally somewhat of a famous author. I wouldn't know. We are not close. I hardly even knew him. In fact, I hardly even know I stand before him today. The circumstances are exact. And, until today, I've never experienced any of his, well, Edgar was a very strange boy. Not that I would know. Not that I'm familiar with that particular quality. Strangeness is quite unladylike. I'm told his stories are good. Chilling. Eerie. Capable of giving one the shudder. Ladies should never shudder or experience fear. Strong emotions like that encourage perspiration. The perspiration is very unladylike. Frankly, I'm not convinced. Knowing Edgar as I do, that he's capable of a good story, or even a frightening one. We shall see, we shall see. Let us begin the telltale part.
Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. I have been, and I am. But mad? Mad. The disease did not make me mad. It sharpened my senses. You say madness? I say a highly developed sense of hearing. I have exceptional hearing. Mad? Ha! Sane. Look how calm I am. Listen! I will tell you the whole story. You'll see how calmly I tell the tale. You will change your mind. Morning.
Good morning.
Sleep well?
Like a stone.
I don't know. It's impossible to say. As soon as the thought entered my mind, it haunted me, day and night. I don't know. There's no motivation, no wrongdoing on his part. Morning.
Good morning.
I loved the old man. Sleep well?
Like a stone.
He never struck me, nor insulted me. Good night.
Good night.
See you in the morning. It was never him at all. It was his eye. There, the eye of a vulture. Pale blue with film. Every every time that eye looks at me,
What's the matter?
sorry,
What's the matter? You're staring.
nothing, sorry, just lost in thought. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, I made up my mind to take his life and rid myself of the eye forever. Morning.
Good morning.
Sleep well?
Like a stone.
You think me mad. The mad know nothing. I know. I am wise. You'll see how wise I am. Good night.
Good night.
See you in the morning. I was so kind before I killed him. The whole week. And then I practiced. Midnight. I stand outside his door, turn the latch, open the door. Slowly, slow now. The old man's sleep must not be disturbed. There's just enough space to slip my head in and peek into the room. This takes a whole hour. Would the mad do this? Would the mad be so precise? Midnight comes. Turn latch, open door, slowly peek. Would the mad do this for 7 nights? Midnight. Latch, door, slowly peek, and again. Good night.
Good night.
See you in the morning. Midnight, latch, door, slowly peek.
Who's there?
A whole hour I stand in the door. The room is dark as pitch. He can't see me. He is listening for death. The sound of terror. I know it well. It rises from the bottom of my soul. Night after night, while the world sleeps, terror echoes up from my soul. No, not mad. Not mad. I know it well. That's all. I know what the old man felt. But I chuckle at heart. His fears are growing.
It is nothing but the wind in the chimney.
He tries to wave them away,
It is nothing but a mouse on the floor.
trying to comfort himself in vain.
It is merely a cricket.
But he knows in his heart,
Is anyone there?
it is too late. Death stands with his black shadow before him.
Ah, there!
Ah, there! Do you see? The eye has opened. Do you hear the old man's heart? Quicker, quicker it beats, and louder, louder the heart will burst. Someone will hear, the neighbors. The time is now. His hour has come. Ah! done. Done. Stone dead. The eye will trouble me no more. You think me mad. A mad person would not take these next wise steps. I cut up the corpse. Aho! Wise indeed. Head, arms, legs. Not a drop of blood anywhere. A tub catches all. Aha! I am sharp as a... Sharp as a... 3 planks up from the floor, and the body goes underneath. Replace the board so carefully, so cunningly. No human eye. Not even his would have discovered it. For him, still dark. Who's there? What have I to fear? My heart is light. Yes?
Good evening.
How may I help you?
Sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
It's no trouble at all, but, what brings the police to my door?
The neighbors heard a shriek.
They suspect foul play.
My goodness!
May we search the premises?
By all means, officers. By all means. The shriek, I'm afraid, was my own. A bad dream. The owner's away in the country. This is his room, right here. Do you believe it? I brought them right into the old man's room.
Everything looks all right.
Sorry to have disturbed you.
Please, have a seat, won't you? You must be weary from your late night adventure. Right in the old man's room. Genius.
Thank you.
Thank you indeed.
As you can see, there's nothing... As you can see, there's nothing out of order.
We appreciate your cooperation.
It's no trouble at all. Stop it!
Do you remember the body in the basement?
Sure do.
They must hear. They must know what I have done.
And then there was the body in the garden, remember that?
Probably never would have found that one except for the dog.
Oh, that dog.
Dug right down to a pair of hands.
They're mocking me, laughing at me. I can't take this anymore. Villains, hide no more. I admit the deed. Tear at the planks. Here, it is the beating of his hideous heart.
Strange. What a strange way to end, and it started off so nicely. That was not a shudder of fear. I have a chance. I find this room quite cold. Dry and cold. This next story is about art. A very genteel pastime. An appropriate pastime for a lady. I have dedicated many an afternoon to an easel and oils, painting a bouquet of flowers. Ah, lovely. The oval portrait. brother, wrote anything sensible at all. What on earth is his thinking? I'd almost have half mind not to turn page, for fear of what. Fear? Nonsense! There's nothing to be afraid of. Apparently, this next story is not a frightening variety at all. It is a comedy. That will remain to be seen. I rarely find humor in anything. This comedy is called Lionizing.
My name is Robert Jones. I'm glad to say I was a great man. I was born in the city of Fudge, and I have a nose.
Oh, what a genius.
Said my mother.
Son,
Said my father.
you've got a big one.
And to that, I grasped my nose with both hands, all through my childhood until the day I came of age.
My son,
Said my father.
what is the chief end of your existence?
My father is the study of nosology.
And what, Robert,
He inquired.
is nosology?
Sir, is the science of noses.
And can you tell me,
He demanded.
what is the meaning of a nose?
A nose, my father, has been defined by 1,000 different authors. It is now noon now. We shall have time to get through all of them by midnight. To begin with, according to Barnalius, is...
Robert, I am thunderstruck to the extent of your information. That's a lot of stuff. You should really consider your education finished and done. Follow your nose.
Such a smart man.
Follow it, and you'll arrive at the lion ship.
Do you really think so, Father?
Roll that nose around, and you'll be treated like a celebrity in no time. So get out of my house. May God bless you.
I consider this fortunate. I resolved to be guided by my parental advice. I determined to follow my nose and wrote a pamphlet on nosology on the spot. Funfudge was in an uproar.
Wonderful genius! Superb physiologist! Clever fellow! Fine writing! Profound thinker!
Oh, go on. I mean it. Go on.
Great man! Sublime soul! What of us? Who can he be? What can he be? Where can he be?
Where indeed? I pay these people no mind.
Aww!
I'm after bigger fish. A celebrity in a small pond is no celebrity at all. The scene unfolds itself in the artist's shot. The Duchess of Bless My Soul sits her portrait. The Marquis of So-and-so, the Duchess's poodle. The Earl of this and that flirts with their salts.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my.
Oh, shocking. What will you take for it? For his nose.
1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds?
1,000 pounds.
Do you warrant it?
I do. Huh.
Is it quite original? Has no copy been taken?
None.
Admirable.
1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds?
Precisely.
1,000 pounds.
Just so.
You shall have them. I shall drop a check on the spot.
I became the talk of the town. The sad little rake, the Prince of Wales, invited me to dinner. The scene was set with all the established elegancy.
All fools are philosophers. All philosophers are fools.
Let me tell you about the most exquisite Merrington of red-tongued cauliflower with veloute sauce.
Did you know that the Earth is supported by a sky blue cow with an incountable number of green horns?
I know exactly where to find the 5 and 4 strategies of Homer Jr.
And myself. Oh, myself. I spoke of myself. Myself, myself. My pamphlet, myself. Nosology, myself. My nose, and myself.
Marvelous, clever man.
Will you go to all Mac's pretty creature?
Upon our honor, dear Duchess.
Nose and all?
As I live.
Here then is a card, my life. Shall I say you will be there?
Dear Duchess, with all of my heart.
Pshaw? No. But with all your nose?
His nose!
Almac, the rooms are crowded to suffocation.
He is coming!
Said someone on the staircase.
He is coming!
Said someone farther up.
He has come, the little love.
Devil.
Sir, like your blood enough. You are a baboon.
Sir, Donna und Blitzen.
A duel's the only answer. We exchange cards and the next morning. Ready.
Act 2.
Bang!
He shot off his nose!
Success! This will take me to new heights. I called on all of my friends.
Fool!
Dull!
Ninny!
Come back. Father? Mother?
Son,
Father?
son.
What's the chief end of my existence?
Well, my son, it is still the study of nosology. But in hitting that lecture upon his nose, you overshot the mark.
Don't I have fine nose?
You have a fine nose, it is true. But blood enough has none. He has become the hero of the day. I grant you that in fun fudge. The greatness of a lion is in proportion to the size of his nose. But good heavens, there is no use competing with a lion who has no nose at all. Idiot.
There is a note here for the raven, which surely must be a mistake. It is written here that the raven was written in the year 1845. That is impossible, because that year has not happened yet. Edgar certainly did not have the ability to write premonitions. Someone was being lazy with their note-taking, clearly. The raven.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore,
While I nodded, nearly napping.
Suddenly, there came a tapping.
As of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
"'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more."
Ah, distinctly I remember.
It was in the bleak December.
And each separate dying ember.
Wrought its ghost upon the floor.
Eagerly I wished the morrow.
Vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken sad and certain rustling of each purple curtain
Thrilled me.
Filled me.
With fantastic terrors never felt before.
So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door.
Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door.
This it is and nothing more."
Presently, my soul grew stronger.
Hesitating then no longer,
"Sir,"
said I,
or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you."
Here I opened wide the door.
darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering.
Long I stood there, wondering, fearing.
doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before.
But the silence was unbroken.
And the darkness gave no token.
And the only word there spoken was the whispered word.
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word.
Merely this and nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning.
All my soul within me burning.
Soon again, I heard a tapping.
Somewhat louder than before.
Surely,
Said I,
surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and let this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and let this mystery explore.
'tis the wind and nothing more.
Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter,
And in their stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore.
Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he.
But with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door.
perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door.
Perched and sat and nothing more.
Above his chamber door,
With such name as
Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou,
said I,
art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore.
tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore.
Quoth the raven,
Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly.
Though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore.
for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being
ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door.
Bird or beast above the sculptured bust.
Above my chamber door,
with such name as
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if in that one word he did outpour.
nothing further than he uttered.
Not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before.
Then the bird said,
Startled by this stillness broken.
By reply so aptly spoken,
Doubtless,
said I,
what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, 'tis song's one burden bore, to the hope of melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore.
but the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling.
and straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door.
Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking.
fancy into fancy, thinking,
What this ominous bird of yore
What this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore
Meant in croaking.
this I sat engaged in guessing, yet no syllable expressing.
to the fowl whose fiery eyes burned into my bosom's core.
This and more I sat divining,
With my head at ease, reclining.
On the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er.
But whose velvet violet lining but the lamplight gloating o'er?
she shall press, nevermore.
Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer.
Swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled the tufted floor.
Wretch,
I cried,
that God hath lent thee, by these angels he has sent thee, respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore.
Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore.
Quoth the raven,
Prophet,
Said I,
thing of evil,
prophet still if bird or devil.
whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here sore, desolate yet all undaunted on his home horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead?
Tell me, I implore.
Quoth the raven,
Prophet,
Said I,
thing of evil,
prophet still if bird or devil.
by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, Tell this soul with sorrow lighteneth within the distance Aden. It shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore.
Quoth the raven.
Be that word or sign of parting, bird or fiend. I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and on the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of thy lie thy soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart and take thy form from of my door.
Quoth the raven.
But the raven, never flitting, still is sitting.
On the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door.
And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming.
And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow onto the floor.
And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted.
To detail. There are many of you properly dressed, but it appears that I, only lady, adequately attired. I simply cannot be seen among such disregard for what it means to be a true lady. Why, with such an imbalance, it is almost as if I am the only one out of place. Out of time. Which, you must agree, is ludicrous. Absurd. Why, the thought is simply inconceivable. Why would I be out of time? I know who I am and where I am, and how young ladies and gentlemen should be dressed. It's these stories, these strange stories have addled my brain as much as my brother, half-brothers, has become. Why, in his mind, he would suggest that if I am out of time, there must be something wrong with me. I must be dead, perhaps, a ghost wandering the earth unaware of my state. I must go. I simply cannot be in the presence of this strangeness any longer. Last story you'll have to experience on your own. The Masque of the Red Death.
The Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had ever been so fatal, or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal, the redness and the horror of blood.
I saw it happen to my chamber.
You weren't in the same room?
No, she had long been banished. I went to the parlor window.
Thank goodness.
She cried and screamed and started bleeding out of, well, everywhere.
Gracious, how lucky are we?
Lucky are we what?
To be safe and sound in here.
Her chambermaid bled out of everywhere.
It was quite the sight. Hideous, I must say.
Did she bleed out of her eyes?
Oh yes, quite the sight.
I suppose they don't call it the Red Death for nothing.
No, Red Death in the court of Prince Prospero.
3 cheers for Prince Prospero.
Hip hip hooray!
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
When his dominions were half depopulated, Prince Prospero summoned 1,000 friends from among the knights and dames of his court,
and they retired to the deep seclusion of one of his abbeys. The abbeys were surrounded by strong, high walls with gates of iron.
And when the courtiers entered, they welded the bolts shut.
There was no way in or out.
Did someone call my name? We were just counting our lucky stars, dear Prince.
We're so thankful to be in here and not out there facing them.
There'll be no talk of death. I command you all to be merry and lighthearted.
Yes, Prince.
It's folly to even think about what's happening out there. The buffoons.
I believe the play is in but 5 minutes.
Wonderful. My friends, the world will solve itself. Bring on the players, the wine,
let us have nothing but merriment.
It was toward the end of the 5th or 6th month of his locution.
And while the pestilence raged most furiously, Prince Prospero continued to entertain his 1,000 friends.
My friends, I must make an announcement. Tonight, we shall have a ball and masquerade. Each room in the Abbey have a different theme, a different color, a different place to stay. Come, let us explore the rooms.
There were 7 rooms.
And each room had windows of stained glass.
And the colors of the decoration matched the chamber.
The first room was hung in blue, and vividly blue were its windows.
Oh, Prince! The second chamber was purple, and its ornaments and tapestry. Oh, Prince!
The third was green throughout.
Oh, Prince!
The fourth was furnished and lighted with orange.
Oh, Prince! The 5th was white, the 6th was violet. Oh, Prince!
The 7th room was shrouded in black velvet tapestries that hung from the ceiling and down the walls.
But in this chamber, only the colors of the windows differed from the decorations.
The paints here were scarlet, a deep blood color.
And the effect of the light that streamed through the blood-tinted panes
was ghastly in the extreme.
Prince, may I suggest we begin our merriment in the blue room?
To the blue room!
In the 7th room, there also stood a gigantic clock.
its pendulum swung to and fro with a dull, heavy, monotonous clang.
And when the hour struck,
there came from the brazen lump of the clock a sound which was clear, loud, and deep.
It caused the musicians of the orchestra to pause.
The waltzers to cease.
The giddiest grew pale.
Gracious!
Don't say it!
It doesn't sound ominous.
Not at all.
There's nothing to feel nervous about.
Not at all.
Don't let the prince know how you feel.
Don't you think the prince is...
What?
I don't want to say.
Then you shouldn't say it.
Some think him mad for deserting his dominions?
Some? I do not.
All you have to do is hear him, see him, to know he's perfectly sane.
Dancing! Dancing! We must have more dancing. Beat the heartbeat of life.
I hope the party never ends.
The dream lives.
3 cheers for the prince!
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip.
What's happened?
Why has the music stopped?
Is something happening?
Before the last echoes of the last chime had utterly sunk into silence,
Many individuals in the crowd became aware of the presence of a masked figure.
who had caught the attention of no single individual before.
Who is that?
the figure was tall and gaunt.
Enshrouded in clothes from the grave.
Look at his face.
The mask, which covered his face, was made to resemble a stiffened corpse.
The mask, it looks like...
Like he's bleeding out of his eyes.
The figure had assumed a red death.
Who dares insult us with his blasphemy and mockery? Seize him and unmask him so we may not know hang at sunrise.
But a certain awe found the whole party.
And none put forth their hand to seize the figure.
No one? Death to those who bear his face.
The prince has fallen!
Get him!
Summoning the wild courage of despair,
A throng of the revelers at once threw themselves into the black chamber.
They seized the figure,
Where is he? Where did he go? I have his mask.
Where is he?
He can't have disappeared. He was right here.
Unless...
No, don't say it!
The prince is dead.
The Red Death had come like a thief in the night.
And one by one dropped the revelers in the blood-tinted hall.
We haven't escaped after all.
None! And one by one they died, each in the despairing posture of their fall.
Darkness and decay.
And the Red Death
Holds illimitable dominion over all.
They suspect foul play. 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 His fears are growing. They suspect foul play. His fears are growing. 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 We got a cast present for Mr. Cernick, our director. Yeah, where is he? Where did he go? Get down here. No, it's tied. It's tied together. He can't open it. Anyway.